Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Let's pronounce. So, I think we will start on time. Thank you for sitting on your video. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो श्रीवैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय श्रीगोविन्दाय नमो नमः श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी की जय श्री परीक्षित की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण So thank you Antaryami Balram Prabhuji, Gita Krishna Prabhuji, Arvind Saran Prabhuji, Rukmani Hari Sevni Mataji, Yachna. Thank you, Yachna Mataji, Radha Keshav Prabhuji, and everyone. Done. Yes. So, sixth canto, fourth chapter, fifth chapter, and sixth chapter. So we have done fourth chapter yesterday. It's a beautiful, chapter about Daksha, how he prayed to the Supreme Lord, and the prayers are called as Hansa-Gurya prayers. So before we start today's chapter, I would like all of you to share one point or, in short, something about what we remember from yesterday. The Hansa-Gurya prayers offered by Prajapati Daksha to the Supreme Lord. Yes, anybody remembers? A short overview, maybe how the story is flowing, or any point.
Mati, one of the points we discussed yesterday was of Daksha, because of which the the offense because of which he had to take a birth again. He committed an offense against Lord Shiva, and he was a son of Brahma, and now he has become a Kshatriya. So he has been degraded because of the offense towards Vaishnavas. So we have to be very, very careful regarding dealing with the Vaishnavas.
Yes. Yeah, very good, great point. I see Anand Leela Mati also, Pratika Priya Sham, Giriraj. Thank you. If you can put on your videos, would be nice, if possible. Okay, any other point?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's seeming Mataji's voice is slow to me. Is this with me only or with everyone?
Okay, I bring
Can
this
I-
close now.
Yeah, it's better. It's better now, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you for correcting. Yes. Any other point from yesterday? The flow of the story or any lesson? Yes.
Text 47, I remember that it said that before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, I alone existed with my specific spiritual potencies. Now there is a conversation. So, consciousness was then unmanifested. Then, as one's consciousness is unmanifested during the time of sleep. So I like this. And one more thing I'd like. Okay, this one.
Okay, thank you. It was a part of Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, that word, which we studied already in second canto. That the Lord existed before creation, during creation, and after annihilation also. Yes. Any other point?
We also discussed about the structure of the lineage of Shambhu Manu, where in the fourth canto we discussed about the Utanpad kingdom, and then Priyavrat, and then how we left at one point where the Prachetas went for the austerity. Then Parchinabari also Narad reached, so he also left for the austerity. So there was a gap, and then again, so all that, and then now again back to the same lineage.
Yes. Yeah. The 10 sons of Prachetas all together, the 10 Prachetas, sons of Prachini Barishat, all together beget one son. That was also
Daksha.
Daksha. Yes. Thank you, Gita Krishna Prabhuji. Any other point we remember?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji,
Yes.
Daksha, he chanted the Hansa Guhya prayers, and Lord pleased by his prayers, and he come in front of him. He give darshans to Daksha.
Yes.
And there was a very beautiful description about the Supreme Lord.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Madhu. I think you read that, so you remember it nicely. Yeah,
you.
he came with 8-handed form. He came in an 8-handed form. Every hand has something. That was good, yes. And he came along with other associates. Right? That was also mentioned. Okay. So, many prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Hamsa Guhya prayers. What is the meaning of Hamsa Guhya? Hamsa Guhya.
Mataji, Guhya means confidential or secret, and Hansa, maybe, I mean, we discussed it, but I don't remember the point you said.
Yeah, like Paramhamsas are very advanced. So Hansa is also like very advanced, So very special, advanced, secret, or special, sacred instead of secret, sacred prayers. Hamsa Guhya prayers. So there are many prayers, as we discussed, there are many prayers in the world. Dhanam Dehi, Putra Dehi, this, that. But Hansa Guhya prayers is a special advanced prayer directly to the Supreme Lord, And we saw the prayers in many, many verses, how it is, the one who is doing it, like Daksha here, he is repeating what is already there in the Vedas, the Hansa Guhya prayers. It was not composed by him. So it's a special prayers in the glorification of the Supreme Lord and understanding completely the position of the Supreme Lord and his eternal existence, So, okay, we move ahead with our 5th chapter. Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Now, the story goes like that. We ended with that the Supreme Lord gave him a girl. And who was that girl?
Marisha.
Marisha was given to
Yeah.
Prachetas.
Prachetas.
Yeah, and Marisha's son is Daksha. And then Daksha prayed and did austerities, and then Lord was pleased, and then Lord gave him
A Sikni?
Yes, exactly. And she was a daughter of another Prajapati named Panchajan. It is written in 51st verse. Prajapati Panchajan has a daughter named Akshini, whom I offer to you so that you may accept her and increase progeny. That was the end. And I bless you, you will have many children, and your children also will have many children, and they will increase the progeny. Like that. So there we ended. And now he got the blessing. So let's see how he proceed with his increasing progeny, because it is his duty as a Prajapati, increasing the progeny. So, chapter 5, Narad Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Text 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tasyam Sa Panchajanyam Ve Vishnu Maya Upabramnita Haryashva Samyagnan Ayutam Putran Ajanyad Vibhu. So, Putran Ajanyad Vibhu. Gachati, agacha. If you see in Sanskrit, when we put that means it is it has already happened, past. So, Janaya means giving birth or taking birth, and Ajanya means already, got birth. So, these Putran, Sukdev Goswami said, impelled by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, Prajapati Daksha begot 10,000 sons. He's very Daksh in his activity. Right? So he begot 10,000 sons in the womb of Panchajani. See, Prajapati name was Panchajan in 51 verse, right? Prajapati Panchajan. And his daughter is called as Panchajani. Any example you remember of similar word? A father and the daughter was called as something like this.
Draupad and Draupadi.
Prabhuji, can you repeat?
Draupad and Draupadi.
Yes, Drupad and Draupadi. Yes, very close. Yes. There is another.
Mataji, Draupadi was known as Panchali?
Exactly, that's what I was referring to. Panchal Naresh and his daughter Panchali. Right? Vese, Panchajan Prajapati and his daughter Panchajani, right? Panchal, Panchali, like that. Panchajan, Panchajani. And her name is a chickney, we discussed. So, Prajapati Daksha begot 10,000 sons in the womb of Panchajani. So in the verse it is written Panchajani instead of writing the daughter of Panchajan, right? And similarly, like yesterday we saw Pracheta, and their son is called Prachetas, right? The 10 Prachetas, and when it was referred for the son of Prachetas, it was written Prachetas, like that one. So this is Sanskrit. Text 2. Aprathak dharmasilaste sarvadakshyana nripa pitra prokta pragya sarge prachitam prayayurdisham. Aprathak, alike, means they all, any message I can see in Canva? Anything for me?
No, Mataji, someone has joined by the name of Haripriya Sharma. We don't have anyone in Bhakti Vaibhav English course, Haripriya Sharma, and later on I will be in difficulty if somebody is writing this name for attendance.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Mataji, I'll change. Sorry, Mataji, Jagat Mata Sachi Devi Das. I'll change.
won't-
Sorry.
Yeah, I won't be able to see chat. I mean, if in case I'm not able to see, and if you have to say something to me, please, you can interrupt, anytime unmute and do that, because it will,
It's okay, Mataji.
yeah. So, aprathak means alike, means same, not different, So all, Sukadeva Goswami is telling, my dear king, aprathak dharmashilaste, all the sons of Prajapati Daksha were alike in being very gentle and obedient to the orders of their father. Very nice children, very gentle and obedient to the orders of their father. Pitra prokta pragya sarge. Pitra, Pitra is Pita, the father. Prokta, he ordered. And pragya sarge, what he ordered? You do the sarga, means you do the creation of the progeny, you increase the population. And when their father ordered them to beget children, they all went in the western direction. Again, before begetting children, austerity is required for purification to get the blessings. Text number 3. Tatra Narayana Saras Tirtham Sindhu Samudrayah Sangamo Yatra Sumuhan Muni Siddha Nishevitam. Muni Siddha Nishevitam. So means their great. Rukmani Harisevni Mataji, you want to say something?
Mataji, can you please explain once again why in western direction?
Western direction. I don't know, but in the next verse says in the western direction there is this Narayan Saras. And about Narayana Saras, the description is given, it's a very holy place. So it was in the western direction, so they went there to do the austerities, because we will see this verse. Tirtham, it's a very holy place, because Sumahan, many great personalities, very great munis and sages and siddhas have perfected their existence, there. In the west, so your second verse answer is in the third verse. In the west, where the river Sindhu meets the sea, right? There is a great place of pilgrimage known as Narayan Saras. So they went there because many great people go there to do austerities. Many sages and others advanced in spiritual consciousness live there. So such places, are very potent. If we want to go for sense enjoyment, we go to pubs. Not we, but in general. If we want such kind of purification, we go to these holy places. So such places are very potent, and automatically you get the effect, the influence of the place, like Bhagavad Gita, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra was Dharma Kshetra, anybody who is there, he will do dharma, because there are many sages have performed austerity, so the place is potent. So similarly, in the presence of when we go in such places, automatically, our purity, our renunciation, our mode of goodness comes. Even if you go to Vrindavan, Mayapur, it happens. Or in our city to the temples, there's a big difference, when we are in the temple and when we are at any other place. So purification happens automatically, and such is the potency of any holy place or holy river or holy people or sanctified food like prasad. It affects, it gives a positive effect. Yes, Mataji?
So, Mother, does it like that they got the order to beget children? So they went into the western direction, in the western direction, and they will perform the austerity there. Then they will beget the children. They will come back like this.
Yes, yes. It is like like it is nowadays we say, before entering Grihastha ashram, you should have a good brahmachari training. Then you will be a good Grihastha. So it is like that. Do the austerities, come back, and then rule and make family and, do all the duties. As I said yesterday, three things. The third thing I said was welfare. And welfare means not only providing food, shelter, and, medicine and money and all, but giving them the direction so that they, they can take shelter of the Lord along with their other duties. That is real welfare. So when they are trained like that, then when they come back and become Grihastha also, they do the Grihastha ashram duties also properly. So that way. Okay, text 4 and 5 now. Next, we will read the translation only now. In that holy place, the Haryashavas, yes. So in the first verse itself, we got 10,000 sons and they were called as Haryashavas. So there are two sets of children. So therefore we have to remember this. The first set of 10,000 sons were called as Haryashavas. And they begin regularly touching the lake's water and bathing in them. Achman karna, snan karna, purificatory mantras, gradually becoming very much purified. They became inclined towards the activities of Paramhamsas. Now this word is important here. They became inclined towards the activities of Paramhamsas. As I said, the holy place has its own effect. So when we stay there for a long time, continuously doing all the, purificatory processes, then we really, start getting those good qualities. So they became inclined towards the activities of Paramhamsas. Nevertheless, because their father had ordered them to increase the population, they performed severe austerities to fulfill his desires. Still, they were in a mood that we have come here to fulfill the desire of our father. What is that? To increase the progeny. But in the process, they were really getting purified, and automatically that, renunciation comes. One day, when the great sage Narada saw these boys performing such fine austerities to increase the population, Narada approached them. When Narada Muni saw them, that they were doing so good austerities and really getting purified, why they will go back and get entangled in this family business? This is a thought of Narada Muni at that time. So because they are already performing such fine austerities and they have reached the level of Paramhamsas, it means that they are doing the activities of Paramhamsas. So Narada mercifully approached them. Yeah. And then this verse number 6 to 8 is important, and the meaning of it will be explained in the next verses till 20, So what did Narad Muni say to these 10,000 boys? The great Haryashavas, the group of these boys is Haryashavas. The great sage Narada said, "My dear Haryashavas, you have not seen the extremities of the earth." Now, every single line has a description of one verses in future, So we will go through every one of them. You have not seen the extremities of the earth. Now, what is this earth and what is these extremities? It will be understood by them, which Sukdev Goswami will explain. There is a kingdom where only one man lives. Now, ये सब हमारे लिए puzzle है. You take it like that. And every puzzle will be solved in later verses, So, first, you have not seen the extremities of the earth. Second, there is a kingdom where only one man lives. That means only one king, one controller. And where there is a hole from which, having entered, no one emerges. Third, a woman there who is extremely unchaste adorns herself with various attractive dresses. Fourth, and the man who lives there is her husband. In that kingdom, there is a river flowing in both directions. A wonderful home made of 25 materials, a swan that vibrates various sounds, and an automatically revolving object made up of sharp razors and thunderbolts. You have not seen all this. Now, this he is explaining in a way, when something is said and it means something much deeper meaning it has, So that's how Narad Muni is explaining to them. You have not seen all this, and therefore you are inexperienced boys without advanced knowledge. How then will you create progeny? So you should have this knowledge first. That is Narad Muni, When he saw the boys known as Haryashvas were already purified because of living in such a holy place and were practically ready for liberation, Paramhamsas, why then should they be encouraged to become entangled in family life, which is so dark that once having entered, it is very difficult to come out. We become entangled more and more. So Narad Muni's purpose was to get them out of this entanglement, to divert their attention from, creating progeny to spiritual realization and perfect their life, So, this is what Prahlad Maharaj also says, and Prabhupada says, here he mentioned this, that sadhu manye asurvarya dehina sada samudvigna dhyama sadrihat hitvatmapatam grahamanda kupam vanam gato yat harimashrayeta. Prahlad Maharaj also says to his father, that sadhu manye, all the great souls say the same thing. And what I heard also from my spiritual master, Asurvarya Dehinam, O Asurvarya Dehinam, O king of the Asuras. Dehinam Sada Samudvigna Dhyam, those who have got this Deha, all those who have got this material body, they are Sada Samudvigna. Sada is always, Samudvigna is full of anxiety. They are always full of anxiety. And we all have this experience. Hitvatma patam graham under kupam. This graham is under kupam. So hitvatma, you leave this. Vanam gatoyat harimashrayata. Go to the vanam and take shelter of Hari. This Prahlad Maharaj is telling to his father. So Prabhupada is telling, in a dark well of family life, one is full of anxiety. And if one wants to free from this anxiety, then he should take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So Narad Muni advised the Haryashvas not to enter the household life, since they were already advanced in spiritual knowledge. Why to again go back there? So why should they be entangled in that way? And then he says in 9th verse, alas, your father is omniscient. Omniscient means one who knows everything. But you do not know his actual order. What is his actual order? I will explain you. Because he knows everything. Without knowing the actual purpose of your father, how will you create progeny? So, actual purpose of your father, how will you create progeny? So, Narad Muni is trying to explain them. And in this 10 points, what we discussed, the earth, the extremities of the earth and the one king and so on, these are 10 points which he explained and they understood. So, Dev Goswami said, hearing these enigmatic words means, it is in Sanskrit, Vacha Kutam. Vacha Kutam means, Vacha means what? Kutam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, such words which appear to have another meaning. The extremities of the earth, what is it? We will see. But they understood. So therefore, enigmatic words. Hearing these enigmatic words of Narad Muni, the Haryashvas considered them with their natural intelligence without help from others. They understood with their own intelligence what does it mean, and unanimously they came to the same conclusion. All of them understood and came to this conclusion. So they understood the meaning, and one by one now, from verse number 11 to verse number 20, total 10 verses describes this 10 points each, each point one verse. So 11 to 20 is the description of each line what Narad Muni said. How the Haryashvas understood, the meaning of Narada's words as follows. The word Bhu Kshetram Jiva Sangyam Yad Anadi Nij Bandhavanam. Anadi means existing since time immemorial. Nij Bandhanam, which causes your own bondage, So the word Bhu means the earth, refers to the field of activities. Kshetra is the field of activities. So here the Kshetra is the body. The material body, which is the result of living beings' actions, is his field of activities, and it gives him false designations. So the first is the extremities of your body. You don't know, since many lifetimes, we are struggling. We are taking one body after another. So the word Bhu, the earth, refers to the field of activities. The material body, which is the result of living beings' actions, is this field of activity, and it gives him false designation, I, me, and mine. Since time immemorial, he has received various types of material bodies, which are the roots of bondage to the material world. Coming in this world itself is, if we are not very careful, then it creates more and more bindings in it. So if one foolishly engages in temporary fruitive activities and does not look towards the cessation of this bondage, what will be the benefit of his actions? Just keep on doing actions, and you don't know, if you don't come to know what is the result and what is your duty and what one should do, then what is, again you are, finding yourself more and more. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, what can result from this insubstantial karma yoga? Karte chaoge or faste chaoge. Rather, you should strive to destroy your karma. That means, Prabhupada very clearly explained, after coming to ISKCON, we get to know this. Nahi to we were always ki punya karo, punya karo, punya karo. Prabhupada said, punya and pap dono is bondage. Both are bondage, because to enjoy the fruits also we have to come here. To suffer the pap also we have to come here. So both are bondage. So we have to do a karma which does not bind us. So Narad Muni's first point is this. So he says about the bondage, or about this body, So this is very important verse, since all living entities in this material world are very active, having obtained this body in trying to enjoy, in trying to make good settlement, try to be happy. Everyone, birds, beasts, and all other entities engage in various activities without knowledge that they are engaged in this soul. I will share a screen basically so that we can see how. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So one by one, it is easy for us to understand. This is here is group of Haryashvas, group of these sons, and then Narad Muni came and he is explaining them, and one by one, this is first. Extremities of the earth is material body. The body is encagement, and we are trying to just paint and clean, and but it is basically binding, So, people blindly engage in bodily activities to enjoy Maya Sukh, which is flickering, temporary. They don't know. So, Haryashvas, they could immediately understand the purport of this extremities of the earth, this material body. And Prabhupada, the last paragraph is a very good, mood and mission of Prabhupada, where he says, Krishna consciousness movement is specially meant for such enlightenment. We are trying to enlighten humanity so that people may come to understand that they should work hard in tapasya for self-realization, not to make our settlement better here, and to free from birth, old age, disease, and death. And Maya is very strong. Little bit we slacken, Maya catches immediately, So sometimes people come to Krishna conscious movement, but again fall back in Maya, not understanding the importance of it. So the point is, when we fall, we should again get up and continue. Again take association, read, hear. So Prabhupada is giving this. We have created or made this ISKCON society for that purpose, so that people have the facility to come and associate. So text 12. Shall we ask to say the translation so that everybody can engage also? Can somebody read text number 12 translation?
Yes, Mataji, may I?
Yes, please.
Text number 12 translation. Narad Muni had said that there is a kingdom where there is only one male. The Haryashvas realize the purport of this statement. The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who observes everything, everywhere. He is full of 6 opulences and fully independent of everyone else. He is never subject to the 3 modes of material nature, for he is always transcendental to this material creation. If the members of human society do not understand him, the Supreme, through their advancement in knowledge and activities, but simply work very hard like cats and dogs all day and night for temporary happiness, what will be the benefit of their activities?
Yes. So the second point was that there is a kingdom where there is only one male. So that one male only enjoyer is the Supreme Lord. Got this understanding. And the only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who observes everything, everywhere of everyone. And he is Bhagwan, full of 6 opulences, and he is Swarat, completely independent. And if the members of human society do not understand him through their advancement of knowledge and whatever activities, then what is their use then? Simply working hard like cats and dogs. There is only one king with no competitor. And the word here, it is said, the Lord has therefore been described as Surya. If you see the word, Eka Eveshwara, Ek Ev Ishwara Surya. Surya, the translation is the 4th transcendental category. So, the Lord has therefore been described as Surya, existing on the 4th platform. It is mentioned by the Acharyas. There are 3 stages we saw: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And this is the 4th, which is transcendental state. In Sanskrit, it is waking is Vishwa, dreaming is Tejasa, and deep sleep is Prajasa, and transcendental stage is Surya. This is little technical, but because it is mentioned here, the Lord has therefore been described as Surya, existing on the 4th platform. And it has also been described as Abhava. Abhava, So Bhava means to be, means to take birth, here in this Bhava, in this material world. So, Bhutva Praliyate, Prabhupada says. Basically, the Lord, the Supreme Personality of God, is neither Bhutva nor Praliyate. So, he is always eternal. Therefore, the duty of the human being to understand him, to take shelter of him. He is the only main, he is the only controller, he is the only supreme controller, enjoyer, proprietor. This is the meaning of the second line, what Narad Muni says. And then the third verse, the 13th verse, which is the third point. Yes, somebody can read the third one.
Narad Muni had described that there is a pillar or hole from which, having entered, one does not return. The Harishvas understood the meaning of his allegory. Hardly once has a person who has entered the lower planetary system called Patal been seen to return. Similarly, if one enters the Vaikuntha Dham, Pratyak Dham, it does not return to this material world. If there is such a place from which, having gone, one does not return to the miserable material condition of life, What is the use of jumping into monkeys in the temporary material world and not seeing or understanding that place? What will be the profit?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. What is the use of jumping like monkeys in the material world without understanding its goal, Not seeing or understanding that place. That means not worshipping. Seeing means not seeing the deities or understanding that place. What will be the profit, Aaya gaya, just without any purpose. So Narad Muni has described there is a bill or a hole from which having entered one does not return. So if we go to Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So if we endeavor, if we surrender, we will go to that abode from where nobody comes back, This is eternal, that is full of, there's no miseries there. So that is a Vaikuntha Dham. He does not return to the material world. Yat Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So if one properly understands Krishna and takes shelter, then he can return. And he can return to that, back home, back to Godhead, to live eternally a blissful life with the Supreme Lord. Because Prabhupada says, this place is not the right place. This is Dukhalayam Shashvatam, as Krishna says, So this is not the right place. And Prahlad Maharaj says, we read, Sada Samudvigna. Always we are in anxiety. Whatever we do, some or the other anxiety is, always there. So, sons of Daksha says, Kim asat karma bir bhavit. What is the use of this impermanent fruitive activities if we don't surrender, if we don't take shelter, and if we don't understand that that is the real goal? So, this is the third. First one is Bhumi, which is our body, he understood. And then second is about there's only one king. The third is there's this hole from where, one does not return. So, if one enters that Vaikuntha Dham, Pratyaka Dham, it is said. Fourth point. Yes, somebody can read this. Yes, I think everybody can take chance. Yeah.
May I read,
Ma'am,
Mataji? Okay, please, Mataji, continue.
Mataji, I was waiting for someone to start. Please read, Mataji. I wanted
Please,
to.
Mataji, please read. I'll read next. No problem.
Narad Muni had described a woman who is a professional prostitute. The Haryasvas understood the identity of this woman. Mixed with the mode of passion, the unsteady intelligence of every living entity is like a prostitute who changes dresses just to attract one's attention. If one fully engages in temporary fruitive activities, not understanding how this is taking place, what does he actually gain?
yeah, a woman who is professional prostitute. So who is this woman who is a professional prostitute? Prostitute, she changes dress, she does her makeup nicely, nice jewelry, nice attractive features, like nowadays, we do different hairstyle, different dress style, always fashion changes to keep attracting the other, like the man. So, man or woman, both. So, who is this woman? She's a professional prostitute. Haryashvas understood it as unsteady intelligence. If we don't take shelter of the Shastras, our intelligence is unsteady. All our senses take us here and there, pull us here and there, and we go. Unsteady intelligence, So he compares the woman who is professional prostitute to this unsteady intelligence mixed with a mode of passion. Every living entity is like a prostitute who changes dresses just to attract one's attention. Keep on changing the different style, fashion, and other things. If one fully engages in temporary fruitive activities, not understanding how this is taking place, what will he actually gain? Anyway, this body is temporary. One day it is going to deteriorate. So better, as long as we have it, we should use it. So therefore, we study Shastras to sharpen our intelligence so that it does not become a prostitute, it becomes the servant of the Supreme Lord. The intelligence of the woman who has no husband declares herself independent, which means she becomes a prostitute. A prostitute generally dresses herself very elegantly or very, in a fashionable way to attract man's attention. The intelligence of a living entity who does not turn his attention towards Krishna simply changes dress like a prostitute. So we have to sharpen our intelligence, not become foolish or not become unsteady. And then one should be intelligently conscious in such a way that he need no longer change from one body to another. Prabhupada says for devotee is fixed. He's fixed about what is his profession. No prostitute profession. It is he's busy in serving the Supreme Lord by chanting, by living a simple life, by following the principles, and without following daily changes of fashion. Slowly, as we come in Krishna consciousness, we don't care so much, what fashion is going on, what kind of dresses people are wearing, what is the trend going on. We are happy with what we have, and we continue with our services. So, prostitute means unsteady intelligence. Next, 15th verse.
Text 15. Narad Muni had also spoken of a man who is husband of the prostitute. The Hare Ashwat.
Yes.
Sorry, Mataji. The Hare Ashwats understood this as follows. If one becomes the husband of a prostitute, he loses all independence. Similarly, if a living entity has polluted intelligence, he prolongs his materialistic life. Frustrated by material nature, he must follow the movements of the intelligence, which brings various conditions of happiness and distress. If one performs fruitive activities under such conditions, what will be the benefit?
Yes. So it is said a man who is the husband of a prostitute. If one becomes the husband of a prostitute, he loses all independence. That means a jiva is here. If he starts thinking that he is enjoying with this prostitute and he is independent, but actually he is getting more and more entangled, and more entangled, more suffering. So if a man becomes the husband of a prostitute, he cannot be happy. Similarly, one who follows the dictations of material intelligence, right? Prostitute means unsteady intelligence, material intelligence. If we follow that, and if we are in material consciousness, we can never be happy because that is not stable. If we catch hold of anything which is not stable, which is changing, we will be suffering. If we catch hold of any attachment, which is changing, then that will go away, or it will get deteriorate, or somebody can take it. We will be in a suffering, in a painful situation. So it is said, if a man becomes the husband of a prostitute, he cannot be happy. Similarly, one who follows the dictations of material intelligence and material, attachments, material consciousness, he will never be happy. He will never be happy. So he prolongs his materialistic life. And although one follows the dictations of material nature, he happily thinks that he is the master, he is the husband, he is enjoying. But actually, the one who is above that, he can see that he is basically suffering. So, Sad Asad Yoni Janmashu, one after another in different yonis, in different species, is taking birth and suffering. So, next verse is verse number 16. It is the 6th point. Yes, somebody can read 16th verse.
Narad Muni had said that there is a river flowing in both directions. The Haryashvas understood the purport of this statement. Material nature functions in two ways, by creation and dissolution. Thus, the river of material nature flows both ways. A living entity who unknowingly falls in this river is submerged in its waves, and since the current is swifter near the banks of the river, he is unable to get out. What will be the benefit of performing fruitive activities in that river of Maya?
Yes, river of Maya. So this river is compared to Maya, river of Maya. There is a river flowing in both directions, creation and annihilation, dissolution. Material nature functions in these two ways. Thus, the river of material nature flows both ways. A living entity who unknowingly falls in this Maya, in this river, is submerged in its waves, and since the current is swifter near the banks, he is unable to get out. So, if you have seen the river and if you have noticed, near the banks, the current is more when the river is flowing, the current is swifter near the banks of the river, he is unable to get out. Vela kulanta vegitam. So it means near the bank, the river flows quickly, faster. And Maya flows quickly when, when somebody is loose, is not serious. Maya, Maya is always there to catch us. Little bit we are serving the Supreme Lord. Little bit we slacken, Maya is always standing to catch hold of us. With our we get entrapped with our anger or ego or such anarthas, and Maya prevents a person from getting out. But the same Maya helps us also. That's what Prabhupada is writing, and we will try to understand. One may be submerged in the waves of river of Maya, but one may also get free from the waves by coming to the banks of knowledge and austerity. By proper sadhu sangha, by knowledge and austerity, one can get free himself also. Near these banks, however, the waves are very strong. Near the banks, the waves are very strong. If one does not understand how he is being tossed by the waves, but simply engages in temporary fruitive activities, what will be the benefit? He will keep struggling there only, So, when one falls in the river of nescience in this Maya, he is always tossed here and there by the waves. But the same Maya can also save him when he surrenders to the Supreme Lord and becomes Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious is knowledge and austerity. What is that word? Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janya Tashru Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Hetukam. Vairagyam and Jnanam by Vasudeva Bhagavati. So the same Maya helps, because whenever we surrender to the Supreme Lord, Maya does not exist there. Maya, Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakar, yahan Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar. So when we turn towards Krishna, Maya cannot influence us. But when we turn away from Krishna, then Maya immediately catches. So this is the river of Maya. And one may get free from it by knowledge and austerity. Proper sadhu sangha, basically, to get the real transcendental knowledge. And in proper association in sadhu sangha, always, whenever, you have seen, when we preach also, the first thing we teach is, sense control, not sense gratification. So austerity. Sense control means austerity. Do fasting or eat prasad, not eat anywhere or anything. So austerity is required, and that's how we become more and more stable and firm in our faith and our bhakti and our sadhana and our advancement. So that is verse number 16. Next, verse number 17. Somebody can recite 17th verse.
Translation, shall I read?
Translation, 17th verse. Yeah.
Translation. Narad Muni has said that there is a house made of 25 elements. The Harias was understood this analogy. The Supreme Lord is a reservoir of the 25 elements, and as the Supreme Being, the conductor of cause and effect, he causes their manifestations. If one engages in the temporary fruitive activities, not knowing that Supreme Person, what benefit will he derive?
Yes, what benefit is there in performing fruitive activities if one engages in such way? So there is a house made up of 25 elements. Now we have heard it many times, 25 elements. And it is all coming from the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all these 25 elements. He is the origin. He causes their manifestation. And if one engages in temporary fruitive activities, not knowing that Supreme Person, then again he is having no, actual benefit. So this cosmic manifestation is an expansion of the energy of Lord Krishna. Whatever we see, all the elements, our senses, tanmatra, working senses, knowledge acquiring senses, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. Whenever we see in this world, whatever we see in this world, it is all expansion of his various energies. Like a fire that spreads illumination for a long distance, although it is situated in one place. This is from Vishnu Puran. Prabhupada said, fire is in one place, but it spreads its light and heat, in long distance also. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of God is staying in his dham, but all his energies are spread around and it's working. If one does not know the ultimate cause, what is the use of his scientific and philosophical research? How much ever you do research and you manipulate things, what is the benefit if you don't understand the Supreme Being, who is the origin, who is the cause of all causes? Like 7.4, 7.5 Bhagavad Gita, it says that all are his energies, the superior energy and the inferior energy. So whatever we experience, it is all his energies, it is coming from him. Everything, is running because of him. We have to know this, and we should surrender. That's what they learned. 18th verse. Oh, I did not move this. Yeah. House made up of 25 elements with the Supreme Lord. And then the 18th, speaking swan. Swan. Yes, 18th verse.
Narad Muni had spoken of a swan. The swan is explained in this verse. The Vedic literatures, Shastras, vividly describe how to understand the Supreme Lord, the source of all material and spiritual energy. Indeed, they elaborately explain these two energies. The swan Hansa is one who discriminates between matter and spirit, who accepts the essence of everything and who explains the means of bondage and the means of liberation. The words of scriptures consist of variegated vibrations. If a foolish rascal leaves aside the study of these shastras to engage in temporary activities, what will be the result?
Yeah. So a swan is like Shastra. Shastra clearly says what activities is going to bind you and what activities is going to liberate you. Right? So Hansa, the one who removes water and take the milk, the essence. So the swan, Hansa, is one who discriminates between matter and spirit and accepts always the essence. So this is like the scriptures. And therefore, Prabhupada says the Krishna conscious movement is very eager to present this Vedic literature. In the world now we have everything, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita in all the languages. All the languages means, all the common languages, so that everyone can have access in their own language. Because this is so important. The Shastras are extremely important. Prabhupada says, how much can you preach in few minutes, So you can say something, but just give the book so that they can have it and they can get advantage of it. The Krishna conscious movement is very much interested in giving these Western people the knowledge of this Shastras and Vedas, and original Sanskrit text they may not understand, so we are translating in their own language, Chinese or Portuguese or Spanish or German or everything. So if one does not discuss that which is important in life, one is put into darkness and must struggle for existence. So this Shastric knowledge is very important for all of us. And if one does not discuss this, then he will go down, one after another in hellish conditions of life, again struggle for existence. What is the benefit of his advanced knowledge? Advanced knowledge means advanced material knowledge. So the Krishna conscious movement is trying to convert misguided, drug-addicted students to the service of Krishna and engage them in best welfare activity. Prabhupada is our best well-wisher forever, for all the time, for everyone. Yeah, so this is swan is like Shastras. Now 19 is revolving object. It's very beautiful. Yes, somebody can say 19 translation.
Narad Muni had spoken of a physical object made of sharp blades and thunderbolts. The Haryashvas understood this analogy as follows. Eternal time moves very sharply, as if made of razors and thunderbolts. Uninterruptedly and fully independent, it drives the activities of the entire world. If one does not try to study the eternal element of time, what benefit can he derive from performing temporary material activities?
Yes, time and tide wait for none. That is the thing. They understood this allegory. Eternal time moves very sharply, as if made of razors and thunderbolts. Uninterrupted and fully independent. Time is the only thing which never stops. India ho, America ho, day, night, whatever. Time keeps running. Uninterrupted and fully independent. आज कोरोना है, आज कुछ और है, anything, time keeps running, uninterrupted and fully independent. So Chanakya Pandit says a single moment spent, you cannot get it returned even after spending hundreds of millions of dollars. So time is compared herein as a sharp razor. A razor is meant to shave the hair from one's face, but if not carefully handled, the razor will cause disaster. So if we will not use the time, it is a disaster because it is waste. We have not utilized it. So one is advised not to create a disaster by misusing his lifetime. A human life का limited period है. We have 80 years, 70 years, 90 years, 102 years, whatever is limited. And if we don't use it, we are wasting. It's a disaster for us by misusing our lifetime. So very extremely careful to utilize every moment in spiritual realization, in Krishna consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj, he says in 7th canto, you will see, Kaumaram achareta gyo dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusham janma tad api adhruvam arthadam, that this should be practiced from the childhood. Kaumaram achareta, from the very beginning. Why? Durlabham manusha janma tadapi adhruvam arthadam. This human birth is very durlabh. And even though it is adhruvam, but arthadam, although it is temporary, but it is of great artha, value, right? It is of great value. So we should practice it from the childhood. That is Prahlad Maharaj's teachings. And here also the same point that if we don't use our time nicely, it will be a great disaster. Like little bit careless, we can cut our skin while using the razor. So time is compared here to the sharp razor. Yeah. Text 20.
Narad Muni had asked how one could ignorantly defy one's own father. The Haryashvas understood the meaning of this question. One must accept the original instructions of the Shastra. According to Vedic civilization, one is offered a sacred thread as a sign of second birth. One takes his second birth by dint of having received instructions in the Shastra from a bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, Shastra scripture is the real father. All the Shastra instruct that one should end his material way of life. If one does not know the purpose of the father's orders, the Shastras, he is ignorant. The words of a material father who endeavors to engage his son in material activities are not the real instructions of the father.
Yes. Thank you, Madhuri. So how one could ignorantly defy one's own father? They understood it as, father's order is scriptural injunction. Scriptures, are our real father, and it will give the, one must accept the original instruction of the Shastras. And according to Vedic civilization, one is offered a sacred thread or the second birth, sign of a second birth. So we get our body from our father, of course. That's the first birth, and second birth is when we get initiation, when we accept a guru. So one takes his second birth by dint of having received instructions in the Shastras from a bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, Shastra, scripture is the real father. See, so father's order means scripture's order. what does the scripture say? Scriptural injunction. All the Shastras instruct that one should end his material way of life. And scripture says this, we should end this material life and go back to the eternal kingdom. And in one of the words it is said, Guru na sasyat, svajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, devam na tasyat, na patishta sasyat, na mochiyada samipeta mrityu. All these people, the king, the husband, the mother, the father, they are not qualified to become that person until they can deliver their dependents, deliver from the cycle of birth and death. This is an important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So the words of a material father who endeavors to engage his son in material activities are not the real instructions. Real father's order is what the scripture says, because scriptures are the real father. We get it in our second initiation from our guru. So accept a guru, take initiation from him, and then follow his instructions. So that is, Prabhupada says here, pravritti and nivritti marg. What one should be doing, we should know. Pravritti marg is a living entity has a desire to lord it over the material world as much as possible. But scripture says about nivritti marg. What is that? To release from the materialistic way of life is nivritti marg. So accepting a guru, that's what Prabhupada explains. And actually, father is not the one who gives us birth. Actual father is one who gives us initiation and connects us to the Supreme Lord and give us the direction so that we can we can deliver ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, devotees come under which marg? Pravritti marg or which marg they come?
Nivritti marg.
Nivritti marg.
Yeah, devotees are in different categories. We are still not completely in this, we are in tathastha. But as we purify, we have to follow nivritti marg. That means it is very clearly written here. If you see purport 4th, 5th line, in the material world, every living entity has a desire to lord it over the material world as much as possible. Let me be the controller, let me be the enjoyer. I am the head of the family, I am head of the company, this and that. This is pravritti marg. All the Shastras, however, advise nivritti marg. That means release from the materialistic way of life. So we are all trying to follow nivritti marg, not completely at the moment. We still need the controller. Yeah.
There are grasas and gramedis. So can I say like gramedis are following nivritti or pravritti marg and grasas are following nivritti marg or not? Not exactly.
You can say like that for our understanding, because Grahamedis are, settle down, enjoy, materialistic way of life. I am the controller, I am the boss, respect me, all this consciousness there. But Grahast Ashram is, keeping Krishna in the center, serve, preach to your family members and to others, and, mold your life like that so that you all can advance together. So yes, working on the nivritti marg. So for understanding purpose, yes, you can say like that. Priya Mataji.
So, Mataji, as we say that Pravritti Marg is, the one which, where it says that we do what is the right thing to do, right? Adopting the right policies so that we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Nivritti is leaving the wrong things or, whatever is, as you say, anukul and pratikul to bhakti. So, will we not say that devotees follow both Pravritti and Nivritti Marg? We will or we'll just limit ourselves to Nivritti.
Pravritti and nivritti marg, getting out of this material conception is nivritti marg. So that is our endeavor all the time. Not getting too much involved or entangle more and more ourselves, but trying to remove these knots, these material knots slowly. That is our process. So slowly moving to nivritti marg. Yeah, pravritti and nivritti, work to be done and work not to be done. Okay, so there are two words here. So therefore you are getting confused. Bhagavad Gita 16 says, Pravrittim cha nivrittim ja janana vidurashrayas. Demons who are less than human beings but are not called animals do not know the meaning of pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti and nivritti word is different, and pravritti marg and nivritti marg, so don't get confused with these two different things. Yeah, pravritti, work to be done, nivritti, work not to be done. Yeah, and pravritti marg.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So Rishabh Dev says this verse, as I said, Pitana Sasyat, Janina Sasyat. One should not strive to become a mother or a father if he cannot deliver his dependent son or a daughter from the impending danger of death or from the cycle of birth and death. So they should teach at least everyone to take Diksha and become a Brahmana. Brahmana means by their action. Brahma Janati iti Brahman, basically. So Krishna consciousness movement is teaching this to everyone. And it's a duty of every parent to teach their student, every businessman to teach their employees, and everyone, basically to follow this. That's why Prabhupada says, I'm very pleased when somebody preaches. And Krishna also says, this bhakta is very dear to me, Satame Priya. So these are 20 verses which describe what Narad Muni said in one verse, from 11 to 20. Each word, these 10 points, were described and understood by Hayashravas, these 10,000 sons. Unanimously, they came to the same conclusion. And then verse number 21. Iti vevasito rajan haryashra ekachetasa. They all come to the same conclusion, same opinion. Prayayustam parikramya panthanam anivartanam. Panthanam, on the path, anivartanam, which does not bring one back again to this material world. So they wanted to follow that path which does not bring one to this material world again. Sukadeva Goswami continued. My dear king, after hearing the instructions of Narada, this Haryashavas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha, were firmly convinced. Abhi unko samajh mein aa gaya. They knew the father's order is to do the progeny, but they understood who is the real father, scriptural injunction. So they were firmly convinced. They all believed in his instructions and reached the same conclusion. Having accepted him as their spiritual master, they circumambulated that great sage Narada and followed the path by which one never returns to this material world. So that means circumambulated that great sage Narada. He accepted him, his instructions, understood, and they will now follow. So this is a process, the bona fide guru and obedient disciple. Decided not to entangle in materialistic life by begetting again hundreds and thousands of children and to take care of them. It would be unnecessarily entanglement, So they came out of it, they understood. And Narad Muni was very happy. Narad Muni became happy. We also preach to someone, and if he seriously takes to Krishna consciousness and over the period of time, take shelter of Guru Maharaj, take initiation, we also feel happy. The process, to please Prabhupada and to please Krishna, that people are taking seriously, it gives pleasure. So Narad Muni also, 10,000, he preached and they all understood and they took that step. So he was very happy. So the next verse number 22, beautiful, it is said, 7 musical notes, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, are used in musical instruments. Sarigama Padani, actually, are used in musical instruments, but originally they come from Samaveda. The great sage Narada vibrates sound describing the pastimes of Supreme Lord. And by such transcendental vibrations such as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, he fixes his mind at the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus he directly perceives Rishikesh, the master of the senses. And after delivering the Haryashavas, Narad Muni continued traveling throughout the planetary systems. That is his business, He continued travels chanting the holy name of the Lord. His mind always fixed as the lotus feet of the Lord. And here in the purport is the beautiful, beautiful Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer, song. Narada Muni bajaye veena radhika ramana name nama amani udita hoy bhakat geet same. Narada Muni bajaye veena radhika ramana name. So he was very happy. So again, going back, he is playing his veena and singing the glories of Radha and Krishna. The goodness of the great sage Narada Muni is described here. He always chants about the pastimes of the Lord and delivers the fallen souls back to Godhead. So, Brahma, and then his disciple Narada Muni, and then Narada Muni instructed Vyasdev, and so on. It is coming in our Brahma Madhva Gaurya Sampradaya. And here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in our Sampradaya, he is writing this beautiful song. So, Narada Muni is drowned in the ocean of bliss, basically. And he was very happy that all these persons are delivered from going to, going in family life again, and now they are back. So he's very happy. There is no difference between the instructions of Narada Muni and those of the present spiritual masters, because they are coming in the disciplic line. So Narada Muni, as he delivered these Hareshivas, similarly, if someone is preaching now who is coming in a disciplic line, Prabhupada, his disciple, our Guru, there's no difference between the instructions. It is the same instruction. Both Narada Muni and the present spiritual masters speak the same teachings of Krishna. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaste. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. The same thing. So there's no difference, right? That's what Prabhupada says. Text 23. Somebody can read text 23.
The Haresh was the son of Prajapati Daksh, were very well behaved, cultured sons, but unfortunately, because of the instruction of Narad Muni, they deviated from the order of their father. When Daksha heard this news, he was brought to him by Narad Muni, he began to lament. Although he was the father of such good sons, he had lost them all. Certainly, this was lamentable.
Yeah. So nice. In the first few verses, we saw they were so gentle and obedient sons. Right? In the second verse, I think it was mentioned. They were so nice, very obedient. And now he lost all of them at one go. It's a great lamentation for him, the situation. When Daksha heard this news, he began to lament. All these cultured, well-behaved sons, but unfortunately, because of the instruction of this Narad Muni, they deviated from my order. So he was upset. And Prabhupada says, in today's day also, when we preach to some young people, their parents get upset. The Prajapati, instead of being happy with the actions of Narad Muni, was extremely sorrowful, because he does not understand that Narad Muni has done this for their ultimate benefit. Parents also, Prabhupada says, they are not a materialistic father and mother want to engage their sons in, earn good money, make good family, have good bungalows and cars and materially very good, have beget a lot of children and increase your economic situation and rot in this material life. Prabhupada says in this way. Rot, they don't think that rot, they think this is the only best thing, that you advance in your materialistic life. They are not unhappy when their children become spoiled, useless citizens, but they lament when they join Krishna conscious movement. They always encourage, oh yes, study, make good career, go to America, earn there, live there, and we will also come there, and so on. But if they come to ISKCON, then they will say, oh, you are running to ISKCON, you are not taking care of us. If they go to America, then they will not worry, they will be happy. But if they go to ISKCON, you should stay here to take care of us, They say like that. They question why, better be here. So Prabhupada says, even Narad Muni was condemned, not to what to speak of others, Nevertheless, Narad Muni does not give his mission, and we carry on. So Daksha became unhappy and he was lamenting. When Prajapati Daksha was lamenting for his lost children, Lord Brahma pacified him. Brahma, he is the originator. He asked Daksha to create, so now he again came and he pacified him with his instructions, and thereafter Daksha begot another set of 1,000 sons. So earlier Haryasha was what, 10,000, and now 1,000. Chavalvas, the second set. 1,000 more children in the womb of his wife Panchanjani. This time his sons were known as Sarvalasvas. So Prajapati Daksha was so named because he was expert in begetting children, so he begot so many more children. He begot another set. Prajapati Daksha is very expert. Narad Muni is very expert in his things. So he is expert in begetting and Narad Muni is expert in delivering. So you will be amazed to see these another set also is instructed by Narad Muni. So what happens will come. Narad Muni is expert in delivering all the conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. Brahmaji said, let him do his duty, you do your duty of, increasing the progeny. So, 25th verse, somebody can read 25th verse.
In accordance with their father's order to beget children, the second group of sons also went to Narayan Saras, the same place where their brothers had previously attained perfection by following the instructions of Narada. Undertaking great vows of austerity, the Savalashvas remained at that holy place.
Yes, so they went to the same place, and Daksha did not object. He instructed, okay, increase the progeny, for that go for austerities. Yes, go ahead. He did not hesitate to send his second group of sons to the same place, although they too might become victims of Narad's instruction. They can become again, in the influence of Narad Muni, but he did not hesitate to do his duty of sending them for austerities. And according to Vedic culture, one should be trained in spiritual understanding as brahmachari before entering household life to beget children. And even after entering household life, we have Garbhadharan Sanskar, where we, chant more number of rounds, get the blessings, and then go ahead with this process of begetting children. This is a Vedic system. And as a dutiful father, he did not hesitate to allow his sons to receive this cultural instruction concerning the perfection of life. So he depended upon them to choose whether to return home back to Godhead or to be in this material world in various species of life. So in all circumstances, at least the father should do this duty of giving the nice culture, the nice education to their children. And the children can later decide what they want, when they want, So that's how Daksha also, he sent another set of children for doing austerities, and they went to the same place, Narayan Saras. 26.
At Narayan Saras, the second group of sons perform penances in the same way as the first. They bathe in the holy water, and by its touch, all the dirty material desires in their hearts were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkara and underwent a severe course of austerities.
Yes, so they also almost reached the same, platform as their elder brothers. They were reciting mantras and chanting and getting purified. Beginning with Omkara, and Omkara is Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, in all Vedic mantras, I am represented by Pranava or Omkara. So they were chanting basically Lord's name and getting purified. 27-28 verse says, for a few months, the sons of Prajapati Daksha drank only water and ate only air. So this is their austerity. They drank only water and ate only air. That means eating nothing, only, breathing air. Thus, undergoing great austerities, they recited this mantra. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated in his transcendental abode. Since he is the Supreme Person, Paramhamsas, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. That means they were also very sincerely and seriously chanting Lord's name and doing austerities and remembering and praying to the Supreme Lord. So, it is apparent from these verses that the chanting of the Maha Mantra or any Vedic mantra should be accompanied by severe austerities. It is not that we are chanting and drinking beer in the table, you know. It will not have that effect. The chanting of the Vedic mantras should be accompanied by severe austerities. What austerities we can do in this Kali Yuga? Can we go, drink only water and eat only air? What Prabhupada says, what austerities we can do today? Prabhupada says in the purport. What austerities?
Chanting. Hare Krishna
Chanting.
Mahamantra chanting.
Yeah, it is said along with the chanting, it should be accompanied with some austerities.
Bath in the Ganges or Yamuna.
Yes, and mainly following 4 regulative principles. That is our austerity in Kali Yuga. Even if we do that, strictly follow 4 regulative principles. And also bathe in waters of Ganges or Yamuna whenever it's possible. That is our austerity. We don't have to just be on water and eat only air, So anyone can easily practice this tapasya and chant Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada says. And if possible, one should bathe in the water of Ganges or Yamuna. This austerity is enough for us in Kali Yuga. If we continuously chant and follow these 4 regulative principles, we can go back to Godhead. We can achieve the same result. This is what. So text number 29. O King Parikshit, Narad Muni approached the sons of Prajapati Daksha who were engaged in tapasya to beget children and spoke enigmatic words. Again, enigmatic words, extremities of this earth and this and that, the kingdom where only one king, and so many things like that. What he spoke to their elder brothers, he spoke the same thing. O sons of Daksha, please hear my words of instruction attentively. You are all very affectionate to your elder brothers, the Haryashvas, therefore you should follow their path. I did not, here. Yeah. So, therefore you should follow their path. So family affection is very strong, and therefore Narad Muni followed this technique basically of reminding them of their family relationship with their elder brother. See, aapke sare elder brothers did the same thing. You should follow them. So basically, yena kena prakaren mana Krishna niveshayet. This is only goal. Anyhow, we should engage our mind and senses in remembering Radha and Krishna. That is Rupa Goswami's teaching when Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So that's what Narad Muni